Welcome to the Dino Cinema, episode 9 today. I didn't have to wait too long for this one because I was sick last week, so my reaction for the last one was pretty late, so, you know, that's the one trade-off, I guess, to having to wait a little longer to watch an episode is you don't have to wait as long to watch the one after that. Last episode was fucking crazy. I already see we start off with Noah here. Dude, oh my god, dude. What the, dude, I'm so glad we're, cause after last episode I was like, oh, we're not gonna see Noah and Tarta again for a while. Like, cause I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat, like waiting to see what Tarta thinks about this, cause like, I feel like Tarta's gonna put two and two together, like, hey, Kifri did something to know Noah. And it looks like we're gonna see that. Ooh, dude. I was expecting to see that for a while, but we're seeing that right now. I'm watching right now. I don't give a fuck. If you want to see my breakdown of the last episode, go watch the last episode. I'm watching this right now. I need to know. Flash of light was so bright. Yeah, oh shit. Oh this dude. The possibilities of where this could go. Hey, what's he wearing? Everyone's wearing something different. Oh no!
風よその手で山リンゴだけを取るにはちょっと魔法。はい、最初はジンが小さくてリンゴを揺らした強くしようと思ったんですけど。
Hey, her lines are getting better.
リンゴって取るときにもぎるでしょ。
いい工夫だね。目的に合わせて矢を変えれば魔法はいくらでも応用が効くんだよ。
失敗したら理由を探して、成功してもなんでだろうって繰り返しの練習はダメなとこ考えて試すため。
Trial and error.
惰性じゃない復習が大事なんだよね、先
生。その通り。教えるのが上手だね、テティア先生。テティアが
She
先生。
loves praise.
嬉しい。テレちゃん、もっと言ってもっと言って。
Also, a detail.
人の面倒を見てる暇
Okay, show off.
未熟な自覚があるのなら、その分練習に当てたらどう？
But yeah, a detail. I didn't notice before that I saw someone point out in their someone else point out in their own video is Brush Buddy hangs out around Riche a lot, and now I'm already noticing it. Eating in sync.
やる意味がわかんないのが5個もある。試験なんてなくても書けるのに。
Wait, 5. So there are tests besides the consent to the crown and the Dada range. Oh, 5 of the stupid things. She means the tests.
自分で試して自分を知るためにやるんだよ。意味があるかないかは取り組む側の考え方次第さ。とはいえ自ら挑むのでない限りはどんなことでも楽しむのは難しい。昔の魔法使いたちも同じことで悩んでたみたい。魔法は人を幸せにするためのもの。弟子たちが苦しんでたら、だから三賢者様は考えて試験をみんなが受けたがるような外の世界の冒険にしちゃったんだ。許しをもらいて
to be fair,
第一の試験。
To be fair, the witches of now kind of seem like they have a problem with letting people just enjoy stuff. I need to see those last two again.
第一の試験、王の許し。忠義を示して死と歩む。第二の試験、騎士の忠誠。その道正しくば鍵を得る。
Take up the
第
key.
三の試験、門番の。
Is that like getting your own atelier?
望みを叶えて一人立つ。第四の試験。
No, I feel like third test. That's too early for the third test. Yeah, okay, that's fifth. Yeah.
第五の賢者の教授。これが魔法使いの五芒星試験。先に進むごとに魔法でできる仕事。許されることの範囲が増えていって、第四の試験で一人前と認められ、地の元を卒業する。図書の塔に挑めるのは第三の試験を終え
So like, I know like on average, maybe he's about to answer my question. I wonder like on average, like how long it takes someone to get past that first that fifth test, because obviously most witches seem to start training young, which I'm still not sure if that's like a requirement, like if they do like the Jedi do in Star Wars, where it's like, oh, you know, if you're too old, you know, if you're a certain age, you're too old to be trained, you know, or if like they're not really strict about that. But obviously, like, people learn at different paces, which is something that it seems like Agat's family and the people that were trying to train her don't understand. She wasn't learning at the same pace as the people who I assume she was being trained for the Knights Morales, they don't get that people learn at different paces. So, but like on like in like a general average, like I wonder what the age range is for like people that pass that 5th test. I imagine they're adults, so like yeah, these tests are like, I guess they're like spread out through like throughout your life, at least through like at least because Keyfree, I want to say Keyfree's he's no younger than like mid-20s. He's probably older than that though. So if you can take the first test as early as Coco's age, I think Coco's around the same age as the other girls here. That's like the first test, like that, you know, that one's out of the way, assuming you pass it. The second test, apparently Agat is ready to take. Like she doesn't have to wait any longer than right now. I don't know how much older Agat is than Coco, but I would imagine no more than like 1 or 2 years. But then that begs the question: how long do you have to wait for the 3rd test, 4th test, 5th test? I don't know. Just theorizing. As always, don't answer any of these questions in the comments. I do encourage, you know, conversations, discussion in the comments, but nothing spoilery, nothing with manga knowledge, obviously.
最後の一つは弟子を取るための試験だし、卒業もまだ考えなくてもいいけどね。
テキアはね、卒業した後のことよく考えるよ。すごーく遠くまで旅をして、魔法でいろんな人を助けて、世界中でいろんな人のありがとうを聞きたいんだ。ありがとうって言う人と、ありがとうって言われる人。
And then it's an endless loop.
一つの魔法で二つの幸せ。それって最高にハッピーでしょ。一石二鳥、一挙両得。喜びはいつだってツインテールだよ。だから早く大人になって二つの角のとんがり帽子。
That was something else I noticed too with Keyfree and Orugio. Their cloaks and caps are pretty different from each other. So I guess people can. This is being confirmed here. Like you can like design your own outfit when you get older.
その髪型にそんな意味
Or
が。
when you get more
一人前になったら帽子も自分で選べるようになるしね。
ティチェは試験なんて大嫌い。めんどくさいもん。誰かにやりなさいって言われて書きたくない。好きな魔法だけ書いてたら今のまま使える魔法は増えないわよ。
Yo, a got passing on wisdom? Riche? Not expecting that.
増えなくていいもん。やりたくない子じゃらなきゃいけないのが一人前の大人ならティチェは今のままでいい。
Okay.
先帰る。
Getting some Riche development.
今の
Love
ま
to see
ま
it.
なんて絶対嫌。やれない。早くすべての試験を受けた。そしていつか図書の塔の司書にすぐにでも大人になりたいくらい。
Okay. She just said she wants to be a librarian in the. I already forgot what it's called. But she didn't say she wants to be a Knights Morale in the Knights. Interesting. Maybe that's because, again, assuming that she was being trained for that, maybe she has disdain towards that. And that's not her. She wants to rise up in the witch hierarchy, but she doesn't want to go down that path. Maybe because she resents them for the way they treated her.
アガットの一族は三賢者様が記憶を残した弟子の一人の家系でね。
The God's family is descended from an apprentice to the 3 wise ones. Oh, that's even bigger than I thought. She wasn't just being trained for the... Holy shit. Dude, that's like fucking... I can't think of a good example from another story, but that... Okay, that's huge.
代々師匠を務めてるの。確か。
Oh, maybe she wasn't being trained for the knights then. Okay.
ロム家だったかな。アガットが目指してるのも図書の塔なんだ。ココはどんな魔法使いになりたいの？私はみんなと出発点が違うからやらなきゃいけないこと決まってる。とにかくまずはもっともっと使える魔法を増やさないと。よーし、もう一度風寄せの手を書くぞー。
Watch your back, Keyfree.
そうやって身につけた君の力は絶対に君を裏切らないからね。
Okay, what's this about? Hold up. That shot is crazy. So we've got someone handing Coco like the traditional like witch cap. Is that a brimmed cap? Dude, wait, that's actually, yeah, because the eyes on the sleeve, that's like a brimmed cap person. Wait, I never noticed that before. I haven't really ever paid attention to the opening. I'm gonna analyze it this time. Hang on, let's go back to like frame 1. I'm gonna analyze the opening today. Now that cause when you first get into a story, it's like all the stuff in an opening a lot of the time is like it doesn't really make sense to you. because you don't really know the story yet. I'm at the 9 episodes in. I think I can study this opening and glean a lot from it. So we got a window way. I don't know what these are. Well, some of these are. Oh, are these all pins? No, they're not all pins. I guess they're just like random. They're just like different magical items. There's that fucker. Yeah, more stuff. Interesting that there's like regular ass paintbrushes here. I wonder what that's about. I think that's that bird that Agat saw that one time. Okay, wait, what is... Oh, are those the 3... I bet those are the 3... Wait, okay, so that looks like a knight. That's a knight. Is this person looking away from the camera, or is their hair covering their face? I think they're looking away. Yeah, because the part on the hat is coming down. I think these are the 3... What did they call them? The 3 wise ones? The 3 wise men? Obviously not that last one. So I guess that's who these are. So maybe, who knows? Maybe House Arklom is the house that belongs to the, like, that house belongs to the knights. I don't know. I feel like if House Arklom was related to the knights, I feel like we would have been told in that scene we just saw. So it's probably for one of these. It was the Tower of Tomes, I think. And then this crazy shot, Coco's past, everything that led up to now. Okay, nothing too new so far, other than just, you know, amazing animation and music. Okay, so I guess what's she looking at here? So there's like a deer, witches, Pegasuses, the whale things, Pegasi. I was wondering about this. So this is the second shot in this opening where there's like we're seeing like dual paths for Coco. Because in the other one, it was almost like they were asking her to choose between being a witch and being a brimmed cap. This is obviously her as a witch. What's this? I don't think we've seen her in this outfit at all before. I could be wrong, but no, there's nothing in particular about this design. If there were like the eyes on this design, I'd be freaking out. There's nothing particular about this design that really screams anything different, other than it just being something I don't think we've seen before. So so you know, the gang we're used to: Nolnoa, Tarda, Elira, and I think we saw this character in the scene that we saw Elira in. I need more Elira, dude. She's looks so cool, dude. I need more grown women in this series. Stat. Interesting though, I never picked up on some of those details before. She still doesn't have a goddamn pin, dude. Stop going into Calm with the intent of getting a pin, and then something crazy happening, and then you don't even get a pin. Oh shit.
もう暗い。いつ夜になったんだろう。ココココ
Mom.
ココお母さんお母さんごめんなさい。私が悪いの。私のせいなの。傷つけるつもりはなかったの。ただ魔法を諦めきれなくて。
だからあれほど言ったのに。普通の人
Ugh.
間には無理なのよ。
お母さん。
何も知らない知らざる者は全部あなたのせいよ、ココ。母親を石に変えたのも、私たちを危険に巻き込んだのも、そんなつもりはなかったって言うんでしょ。
スバーリボーには関わりたくない。
人にはできることとできないことがあるんだ。
例外が存在してはならない。
こうならないために隠されていたんだ。
君が魔法を
Fuck off.
望んだからこうなったんだよ。全部君のせい。世界が壊れるのは君のせい。
I am not okay. It will be your fault when the world falls apart. Dude. This is... I'm worried this story is gonna be less hero's journey and more tragedy. Dude, the signs are pointing in a scary direction.
Oh, 先生。
Damn, why are you being so...
時間が惜しくて。
ダメだよ。無理もほどほどにね。
はい、もう寝ます。
Damn, Kiefer, why you being so fucking jumpy?
あなたもまだ起きてたのね。
うん。ちょっと眠れなくて。
ふーん。
たら覚える。覚えたら使える。お母さんを助けられるようになるまでには、あとどれくらい書けるようになればいいんだろう。
Okay.
待っていたんだ。絶
Oh shit.
この日が訪れることを。人体にかける魔法を禁止とする三賢者の選択に最後まで抵抗したのは、癒しのための魔法を使う良き魔法医たちだった。彼らと共に記憶から失われた双子瓶の魔法は、薬の共有のために作られた医療魔法。たとえ片方が遠く離れた地にあっても、陣が刻まれたメダルを介してその中身は共有され、必要なものが空になることはなかったという。結託の日以来、失われて久しい古き繊細な医療魔法。作り出せるのがツバーリ棒とは皮肉だな。美しい魔法だけど解体させてもらう。奴らと繋がる唯一の道だ。魔木にはまだ手をつけない。未知の力は危険だから。用があるのは魔法陣が刻まれた瓶の中に隠されたメダル。向こう側にバレ
So
ない
it
よ
is
う
in
に取り
there.
出せるか。これは奴らに属するもの。このメダルを導きの魔神球に放り込めば、含有物、持ち主、作られた場所、あらゆる痕跡が彼らを示す針となる。
Oh.
些細な手がかりよりもっと確かな。
There's a security measure.
気づかれたか。水、まずい。
Oh, he hates water. Lightning and water is not a good combo.
油断した。水中では魔法は無力だ。
Oh shit. Didn't look like it really hurt him that much. Hi.
お前、目玉の。
No, he is hurt pretty bad.
待て、まだようか。
Oh, it was like a project. Okay, it was like a. The water took form.
必ず取り戻す。僕から奪
What
っ
was
たものを。
taken? What was taken from you? Honestly, with him taking Coco under his wing, he probably lost a family member or something. Because he probably relates to her.
せっかくあの子にあげたのに台無しだよ。
See, it was a. Okay, I thought the water was just like a projection, but then I was like, well, wait. But he bled. And then after seeing whatever the fuck that was. Okay, maybe he actually was there. And dude, forbidden magic's crazy.
あ、あくび揃った。今日ずっとだよね。二人して洋服。わかった。夜な夜な魔法騎士に変身して襲い来る敵をバッサバッサ。
あくびが止まらなくなるくらいなら、夜はきちんと寝るべきよ。あなたここ数日
Tell me about it.
夜中もずっと起きて練習してるでしょ。
ほら、夜中ってつい筆が乗っちゃって。ダメだよココ。気持ちはわかるけど無理は良くない。良い魔法は良い。ル先生も言ってたよ。
Oh, dude, yes. If you don't get good sleep as a child, you pay for it in your old age. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I've been wanting to call him Ollie, but I don't know. I have a hard time giving characters nicknames when they're not in when they're not said in the story itself. I don't know why, because I've been watching this other channel called Full Meta Analysis. She's been doing like Witch at Atelier, like breakdowns on all the episodes, and she calls Arugio Ollie. I'm gonna okay, I can start calling him Ollie now. Thank God. Which is like I could have before anyway, but now that it's canon, that at least Tedia calls him that, for some reason my brain will now be able to accept that. Anyway, yeah, Ollie's the goat.
テティア安眠用のアルブチャ入れてあげる。先生もいる？
Yeah, he got fucked over last night.
ごめん、何の話？ごめん。ご飯食べたらぼーっとしちゃって。お茶は僕が入れるよ。
Not the stock pot breaking sound effect.
先生、本当に大丈夫？
Oh, that took me out.
まだ昨日のしびれが取れない。いやー、しまったな。最後のアルブチャダメにしちゃった。外に出て葉を取ってくるよ。みんなは基礎魔法教本を進めてて、片付けは後でやるからね。
なんか今日の先生変。やはり睡眠不足の影響は絶大。そうだ、アガット。ちょっといいかな。これ
I hope they call him Ollie in the dub too.
返すの遅くなっちゃってごめんね。
Oh, she finally
もしかして
fixed the shoes.
これは
でもみんなほど上手な魔法陣じゃないから。
Looks pretty good to me.
どういうつもり？何を企んでるのよ。
Yeah, God's not used to. She's not used to positivity.
私に無理やり追い立てられ、
Yeah.
オルー
Yeah.
に相談することだってできたはずなのに、私を責めもしないで飛び靴を修理してよこすなんて。
Yeah.
どうしてなの？あなたの考えてる。
あの日確かにアガットは強引で、試験は怖くて一人は心細かった。あのまま何もしないで迎えを待ったけど、あの時多田山脈の麓に立って挑もうって決めたのは自分だもん。大丈夫、できるって証明したかったのはきっと自分自身。自分の魔法で困難を乗り越えていつか希望を作ってないと。
じゃあ何よ。
Editing is
ずっ
crazy.
と気にしてたのはそれって。
What's oh she's passing out.
ココ！
I think she made herself sick. Blushing in anime means three things. You have a fever. You're either embarrassed. Okay, four things. You're embarrassed. You've got the hots for someone, or you're drunk. And I think that's it. Nom.
よし、感覚も戻ってきた。
Brush buddy.
変に思ったかな。里い子たちだから気づいたかも。
Just had a thought. I'm so sorry if anyone's annoyed by me constantly making Star Wars parallels. What if Brush Buddy is like the R2-D2 of this story? You're probably thinking, what the fuck does that mean? Okay, so in Star Wars, George Lucas's sort of like original vision for R2-D2 is that he's the one that is because the story of Star Wars is also called like the Journal of the Wills, and it's essentially like a collection of like the galaxy's like most important events relating to like the Force and all that. And basically Star Wars is being told largely through the perspective of R2-D2, which might not make sense at first, but when you really think about it, obviously there's things that R2 wasn't there for, but he kind of like he generally like he's there for like the big most important galaxy changing events. He's there for enough to tell like a full picture of everything that happened. And it's also funny because it's kind of like he kind of like you notice how R2 is very heroic in Star Wars. You almost wonder if he's manipulating the story a little bit to make himself look like a hero. But in the case of Witch Hat, maybe Brush Buddy, I don't know how that would fit into this story, but maybe Brush Buddy is because we see him following all these different characters. This scene right here is what's making me think that maybe Brush Buddy is like a witness to everything that's gonna happen throughout this story. I don't know if Brush Buddy can relay as much information as R2-D2 could. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind of the idea of Witch Hat Atelier being told through the perspective of Brush Buddy, which is like, yeah, it's Coco's story, and it's the same thing as Star Wars. It's Anakin, it's Luke's story. Even though Brush Buddy wasn't there for the events that happened before Coco met Brush Buddy, he's definitely heard about it. Like, I think he knows about it. Where he has intelligence-wise, I'm not really sure. He's at least smart enough to like guide Keyfree and them to the place where the girls disappeared at in Calm. So I don't know. That I'm probably thinking way too deep about this. There probably isn't anything there, but just a fun thought. I'm gonna make the title of the thumbnail like the "Does he know" meme, but with Brush Buddy. Wait, that could actually be so good. I probably won't do that, but that would be so funny.
知られたら終わりだ。 絶対に隠し通さない。内緒にしておいてくれるかい？ふんふん。
Funfun.
名前が気に食わないって顔だね。可愛いと思うんだけどな。ふんふん。
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it's just a guy.
驚いたよ、アガット。
Is Brush Buddy okay? Or
か
Funfun?
かとの矢が長すぎて魔法陣がいびつだった。
ぜひ見たいな。
ココが
I mean, she's just like a little sick, right?
カレンの病院に連れて行ってくれ。
Damn, okay.
ルサ任せ
She,
ろ。
she spent one night. Well, she probably spent more than one night, actually.
オルに相談するんだよ。
Oh, that's cool. It's like a flying stretcher. It's not flying, but
頑張って。
that's awesome.
病院までもう少しだ。熱がさらに上がってる。早く医者に見せないと。
I have a feeling this fever is I don't normally pause this much when I'm reacting, but I've got so much to say. I have a feeling this fever is induced less by the sleep deprivation and more by something else.
じゃあ次俺からな。
よし、ちゃんとやれよ。
うん。
あれ、タータもう帰るの？ごめん。渡り船の時間があるから。
お前んち中洲の島だっけ？
変なの。魔法使いの一族なら、お前も飛んで帰ればいいのに。
ああ。
Can't.
いろいろと決まりがあんだよ。
Oh, he has a cap.
また明日な。
またな。知らないやつは好き勝手言うよな。俺だって本当は。あれ、キーフリーさん、どうしてここに？
タータ君、病院はこの先で合ってるよ。道が合っているかわからなくて。
あ、病院ですね。こっち、近道を知ってる。
Okay, they're still cool right now. I mean, obviously Coco's in danger, so even if he knew that Keyfree hurt Noah, well, he didn't hurt him, but you know. How does Keyfree not know the way to the hospital? You'd think that would be something he would like make a point to
お願いします。
know.
お預かりしましょう。しばらく。
大丈夫かな。助かったよ、タータ君。
あ、
よくあんな道知ってたね。
このくらいなら誰だって。
いや、大したものだよ。君は観察力が鋭いんだね。
Seem to be an observant person is crazy. Oh my dude.
キーフリーさん。俺、あなたに聞きたいことがあるんです。
If we cut to credits, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm killing myself. Alright, chat, this is gonna be the last reaction ever, the last piece of content I ever post, because I need more of this story and I'm not getting it immediately, so there's no point in living anymore. So thank you all for liking, commenting, and subscribing throughout the years. I want to thank you all for supporting me. Bye. That didn't work. I was trying to like make it to where I just like got sucked away, but I wish I could get sucked away under my desk. What? Oh my god, you know what I just realized? They're in Calm again. And you know what I bet isn't gonna happen? I bet she's still not gonna get a pin. Bro. How many times are we gonna go to Calm and not come back with with Coco's pin? It's gotta happen this season, right? Because it's in the opening. Bro, I don't know. Bro, I can't handle this show, dude. It stresses me the fuck out. I will never be able to emotionally recover from this series. Alright, I've got the dub loaded up. Instead of... Because usually what I do between reactions is I'll take like some time to like let the episode stew in my brain so I can form thoughts for the breakdown section. I just want to watch the dub, to be honest. I'll probably just be pausing a lot during this because I'm sure the dub is gonna make me realize things I didn't notice before as well. So let's just keep going.
Good to see you. Here to pick up that conjuring ink you ordered, I take it.
Yes. Thank you for getting it in so quickly. Also, there's a crack in me wand. Think you could fix it for me?
That flash of light.
Man,
was
even the
blinding.
background characters.
There's no way Grandad could
They've
have
got
missed
they've got
it.
these like on point
Perhaps
accents.
Mr. Keyfree knows the real reason Grandad forgot. Or perhaps he is the reason.
Okay, dude. This scene is both funny and... Dude, Keyfree cannot catch a break this episode. He gets fucking hit by Coco's spell here. He gets... what we see later on with the brimmed cap. And then Coco gets sick. Dude.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Seems that grasping wind seal wasn't quite right. Perhaps a bit too large for grabbing a mountain apple.
It's interesting that she, in the start of this episode, she makes a spell that's too big, and it ends up hitting Keyfree. And then the part of this, I forget what part got said was too long, but part of the spell was, part of it was drawn too long on the shoes. And then she ends up hitting Keyfree. So there's like a recurring theme of Coco's mistakes affecting Keyfree, like literally coming at him full force, hitting him. Might be reading too deep into that, but interesting. I think Coco and Tedia are definitely the characters from the sub that I think the voices for them fit better. But in the English, I think pretty much most of the other characters' voices fit better.
If you know what it takes to improve, then perhaps you should do so yourself.
Agat's voice is really good in English.
Tests mean to teach you about yourself by challenging you. How much they matter or not is dependent upon the attitude of the taker.
His voice, dude.
The last test entitles you to take on apprentices.
Yeah, so
No
the
need to
third
think
one
about
is
that one
Coco's in the
until after
game
you graduate.
right now.
Another reason I'm excited to grow up is so I can design myself a cap with 2 points on top. Who knew your hair had so much meaning?
You do get to choose your own cap.
Yeah, that's what I
in
was
your
thinking earlier. I don't
full-fledged
remember
Great
Coco
Kids
saying that in
2.
the sub. She probably did, but yeah. I love that Tedia's hair literally has like a, it has meaning behind it.
What kind of witch would you like to become, Coco? Well, my journey started in a different place than yours. The path is laid out for me. Anyway, for now, I should probably focus on learning more spells.
Wait. My path is laid out for me? Bro, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. I know she isn't aware of... She's saying it for a different reason, because in her perspective, she's saying that because she has the goal of saving her mother. What I think that is foreshadowing, though, is... like thematically, I think what the story is saying there is she's got the brimmed caps and the witches and Keyfree, which are like the 3 different directions I think she's being pulled in. Which Keyfree definitely leans more towards the side of the witches, but obviously he has disagreements with them, and they sort of are trying to decide her destiny. I think that's what that line was meant to entail. Dude, this show is fucking crazy. I wonder if these nightmares are just her, like, her own imagination, or if her link to the brim caps because through that ink that she had, if these nightmares are being influenced by that, because that the eyeball, I think you're supposed to call him the eyeball. That's what Keyfree called him. I'll call him Eyeball. Eyeball showed up. I guess we'll see what he calls him in the dub, in her nightmare, and talked directly to her in a way that was very present compared to the other characters that showed up in this nightmare. Plus, again, Coco gets sick. I feel like they still have some kind of like link to her, and their presence is affecting her negatively. This also could all just be psychological and physical because she stayed up late, but it could also be both. It could be they're affecting her in a direct way, and her psychological turmoil, like both of those things are affecting her. I don't know what it is about the dub. I feel like I noticed the music way more. Like, I don't remember the music going this hard when I watched the sub. Dude, this story is gonna be so fucked up. Either this story is gonna be fucked up, or things are gonna get better. Like, characters are gonna have choices between making the wrong choices or the right choices. And they're either gonna make the wrong ones, or they're gonna make the right ones. But I feel like bad, I mean, that's any story, but like, you know, things are gonna get really bad before they get better. But maybe they'll get better at some point, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of stories have it to where it's like, oh, the world is going to end. But there's something, but then obviously like it doesn't. Maybe sometimes it gets close. But there's something about this story in particular that feels like very foreboding, like, maybe it's just my bias as a fan of the Star Wars prequels, where, like, you know, for those movies, like, things are heading in a really bad direction, while setting up for the next trilogy, where the next generation fixes things. I feel like this is going that route, personally. Not saying, like, next generation is going to fix things, per se, but I do feel like, a lot of bad things are gonna happen. I don't know. There's just something about the way this story is being told that's making it hard for me to breathe. Apparently, that is, I don't know. There's just something very foreboding about the way this story is being told, and the way I feel like it's gonna turn out. Oh, I can see the medallion now. Once again, I don't remember noticing the music last time. I feel like it's not just the voice direction. I feel like the sound mixing is different in the dub too. But again, me noticing the music the second time might also just have something to do with, like, I heard it before subconsciously, and now's the second time I'm noticing it more consciously because I'm hearing it again. But no, yeah, like the eyeball is like literally physically here right now, which is crazy.
You're here. The one with the eye.
The one with the eye. Okay, I'll just call him Quirky Fella.
I will get back what was taken from me.
Holy shit.
What a shame.
Why does he sound like Keyfree, dude? That scares me. I don't like that. I almost don't want to look up if it's the same voice actor or not. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video. I think I discovered this after my last video. So it was confirmed by like the ADR director for this series, for the English dub, that the reason, and I already speculated this, but it's been confirmed now, the reason the outsiders, the non-witches, kind of have like that standard like American accent, like the standard like Fortnite default Jonesy skin accent, and the witches have like more like proper English voices, like more British, like different like British accents and stuff. It's because they're meant to like sound higher class, and the outsiders are meant to sound more like just like regular, I guess. Yeah, it was really cool that that was actually confirmed. I still think they could have done a better job with Coco's voice direction, because again, to me, she kind of... Hey, listen, I love Pomni, but she kind of literally just sounds like Pomni to me, and that kind of takes me out. And again, I'm not a huge fan of Tedia's voice either. I think it's kind of weird. But yeah, everything else about the dub, I think, is superior to the sub.
If you don't get good sleep in your youth, you'll pay for it in your old age.
True.
My apologies. I took a few bites and suddenly felt sleepy. Leave the tea to me.
Leave the tea to me. Even the pot sound sounded like it was mixed differently. And that's something I've noticed in anime, specifically in like the Japanese audio mixing. Funny enough, I don't notice that in this. I do feel like the audio mixing is different between the two versions, but something I notice a lot in anime is the sound effects and voice acting have this really, like, sometimes they have this like kind of irritating, like sharp feeling in my ears, but usually only in like the Japanese versions. But again, for some reason I don't notice that in Japanese Witch Hat, but I do notice that a lot in anime where like the sounds are like really sharp, but then like if I go to the dub, they're not like that. So I don't know what the reason for that is, but it's something I've noticed over the years. This shot is so, this isn't just like a standard, like, I don't know how exactly to describe it, but from what I know in animation, these kind of zoom in shots where this doesn't look flat at all. These are really hard to pull off. I'm not an animator, so I don't really know how to explain it, but this is really impressive. Oh my, I just realized Agat was like actually kind of like not opening up per se, but being something that she was kind of like letting her guard down here. She was being like emotionally vulnerable here. But Coco didn't even hear it because she passed out. So they were about to have like a deep conversation here. Whether it was going to be productive or not, who knows? But yeah, it was cut short by that. That's crazy. Yeah, the way Agat was raised definitely speaks a lot to that scene where she doesn't understand why Coco would just be nice to her. She feels like Coco probably has some kind of ulterior motive. It's a concept that she's I think she has a hard time grasping. Okay, dude, his fingers have got to be torn up after that, like scraping into the ground like that. Like that had to hurt. Yeah, this isn't just like sleep deprivation. This is like, that's definitely caused by something related to forbidden magic, I imagine. Maybe it was from her using that spell, the one that turned the river into sand.
Alright, you live on the sandbar, don't you? Why the fairy? If you're from a witch family, then wouldn't it be easier for...
You notice their voices? They don't have those accents. So these aren't which I already kind of figured anyway, but these aren't witch kids. These are normal kids. So he's outside of Kaln right now. So wait, yeah, so I guess the town surrounding Kaln is for non-witches. Is this Kaln, or is only the island in the middle Kaln? I don't remember, but yeah. So okay, I thought they were on the island. Clearly I'm blind because it literally showed it in that shot. I thought they were on the island here. I thought the hospital was there. So actually that kind of makes sense, I guess, for Kiefer to be not as familiar with an area that isn't the witch part. I still feel like he should know how to get to the hospital, but yeah, okay, so the location and everything makes way more sense to me. And honestly, them having those accents like that is really useful for, like, communicating the story and stuff. Like, that's really smart that they did that. And maybe if I understood Japanese culture better, different Japanese dialects, maybe they did the same in the Japanese version. Like, if you understand different Japanese voices better, you'd be like, oh, they're from that region, you know. But that's not something that I really pick up on. Maybe in the future I'll try to listen out for that to see if the characters have different, like, accents, but gonna be harder for me to tell. Like,
you must look at things very carefully.
I feel like Kiefer is probably cautious of Tarta the way he says that. I loved, like, the little what made that last shot so, like, feel so natural was the randomness in which people walked by. Like, the fact that the shot cut off right when there was, like, some random guy walking in the middle of the frame. It made it feel so, like, voyeuristic. I think that's the right word. I really liked that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the thing where I scrub through the episode to break everything down. So yeah, no, Noah, to him, nothing happened last episode. But Tarta, you know, God, because like I said before, like I was really expecting, like, this particular like, this is a very tight-knit story. I don't know, I feel like I've been conditioned by other stories for something crazy like this to happen, and then for the story to go off in another direction, and for this to be like the events that happened last episode with Nono and Kiefer to, like, kind of be simmering in the background. But no, it's like we're getting follow up to that immediately. It didn't go very far, but the fact that it was expanded upon at all in this episode was really surprising to me. But you know, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. I swear I talk about Star Wars more in these breakdowns than I do the show. God, yeah, dude, just like the foreshadowing in this episode to, like, Tarta thinking, what if Kiefer was the cause for this, and then Kiefer getting hit in the back with that spell, and then everything else that happens to him in this episode. Like, Kiefer, things are falling apart for Kiefer right now. I think he might be, like, the instrument of his own downfall. Really what it feels like. Coco betraying him is a possible future. The reason I felt like I talked about this with somebody off cam, like some other anime onlys. Somebody was wondering, like, how could the Brimcaps possibly bring Coco to their side when they were kind of the cause of what happened to her mother? But again, Star Wars parallel. What if Coco, at some point in the story, Coco finds out her mother is beyond saving, or she just, like, dies or something? Imagine her emotional state when something like that happens. I think she's going to feel very weak and powerless, much like Anakin felt when he lost his own mother, especially when he lost Padme in Revenge of the Sith. Why did that get the Sith? In Revenge of the Sith. So I imagine a scenario where the Brimcaps come in, where Coco, like, loses her mother forever, and they're like, hey, you know, we know you're weak, you know you're weak, but if you start using forbidden magic, you know, turn to the dark side. If you use forbidden magic, then, you know, you will have the power to prevent losing, you know, anyone else that you care about. Who would end up being on that list for Coco? I'm not sure. And yeah, I'm also open to the idea that, like, that none of this will happen. This is just my reading of the story. I'm open to other interpretations, or obviously I'm open to whatever does happen. Hell, with with where the manga's at right now, maybe like, even if that stuff does happen, maybe we're not even at that point yet in the manga. Don't let me know whether that is the case or not. I'd rather see for myself. But I don't know, like, Coco definitely cares about the other princesses and Ollie and Kefri, but I feel like the person she still feels the closest connection to is her mother. I mean, obviously. I wonder, because I feel like in order for the Brimcaps to, I don't know, because the thing that happened with Anakin was he turned to the dark side in order to gain more power to save Padme, and then ironically, he was the one that killed her. With that new gained power, because he kind of lashed out at her, and then after that, he kind of just became like a shell of himself. He became Darth Vader, like pretty much a whole new persona. And Anakin essentially died there, so he kind of had nothing left to live for, so he kind of just ended up serving Palpatine. Now, I'm not saying Coco's gonna end up doing all that, but I feel like something similar could happen. I don't know, because remember, you might think Coco wouldn't do that. I don't... From what I've seen, unfortunately I have seen, like, snippets. I don't know anything specific at all, but I have seen that Coco is, like, around this same age at the current state of the manga, at least from what I could tell. So there definitely isn't, like, Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones levels of time skips in Witch Hat, from what I can tell. So, but yeah, because you might think, like, well, Coco wouldn't be capable of that. But you look at Anakin in Phantom Menace, like, he's also, you know, just a sweet kid who cares deeply about his mother and everything. And then once he gets older, his darkness deepens, and you know, he just keeps going down the wrong path. You know, maybe that could happen for Coco. Maybe it won't. Maybe she'll just continue to make the right decisions. I'm sure she'll have moments of weakness, but maybe she'll be the kind of character who, again, I know Witch Hat isn't shonen, but it's shonen coded. Maybe she'll stay. She'll have these temptations throughout the story, but she'll never truly give in all the way. She'll always stay positive. To be honest, that's probably more likely what's gonna happen. But at the same time, who knows? Because this is isn't this a seinen? Yeah, this is a seinen. And again, I'm not saying that all seinen need to be as dark as like Berserk, Vinland Saga, Vagabond, because I'm pretty sure Kaguya-sama Love is War was seinen. But and you know, shonen can be dark too. You know, look at Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, this definitely has so far. This definitely has more like the tonal balance of like a shonen story than a seinen one, and those are essentially just like publishing companies, but at the same time, those, well, it's not a company. I guess it's a company. I don't really know how to describe it off the top of my head, but generally they go for similar types of stories. So it is interesting that Witch Hat is a seinen and not shonen. I also know that shonen pushes for more frequent releases, and seinen I think comes out more infrequently. So that might also be the reason that it's seinen, not necessarily because of the genre and type of story that it is. But yeah, I think I lost track of what I was originally trying to say, but I like the story. It was really interesting to see some development from Riche. It didn't really get expanded upon after this scene. We got some more from Tedia as well, like her. I love the fact that we found out that her pigtails have like a meaning behind them that relates to like her passion and her motivation to do magic and everything. I feel like Tedia is, so far in the story, she is the most pure representation of what magic is for. And then maybe like Orugio is second to that. Or sorry, Ollie. Ollie is second to that. Like he's the second most like pure, but even then, like he's one of the watchful eyes, and he doesn't necessarily do his job correctly. Which actually, I mean, that kind of just leans more into him being more pure for knowing what, at the end of the day, like what magic is truly for. All of these characters know that. I just think that Tedia and Ollie, their lifestyles reflect that more, because it got Coco, Kefri, and seemingly now Riche. They have things that hold them back from being able to appreciate magic for the pure joy of it, as much as Tedia and Ollie do. And Ollie might also have some stuff he deals with too, just because he's an adult, and you know that's just part of growing up. So, but yeah, I really think that's cool that Tedia is like the most pure representation of what what it means to be a witch in this series. Even if she isn't the most experienced one, I think she's the one that really gets it, which I think partially is due to her inexperience. Maybe when she gets older, she'll also be bogged down by some trauma and all that stuff. But yeah, that's really cool. I like just now thought of that. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm a pretty smart feller, aren't I? But yeah, Riche has this whole thing about like being she's pretty resentful towards adults in general. She doesn't hate all of them, obviously, because I think she likes Kiefer and Ollie. But she feels like, I guess she feels like she's been like underestimated her whole life, and she doesn't like, that's the key thing. She doesn't like being forced to do things that she doesn't want to do. I mean, hell, I was definitely there around her age. When I was around her age, honestly past that, that's definitely a part of growing up, is coming to terms with the idea of, you know, if you want to survive in this world and become more adept at what you want to learn and become stronger and become just a more well-rounded person, you know, you do need to put yourself out of your comfort zone. You do need to, you know, do things that you don't want to do a lot. Part of growing up, and Riche doesn't want to grow up. Really interesting. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. If I think of anything else to say on that aspect of her character, I'll either bring it up later in this video or in the next one. But right now, I'm not really sure what to make of that because it's still new to me. But yeah, I'll be letting that stew in the back of my mind. I don't have enough context for why she thinks that way, so I'm not exactly sure what the deal is there. I don't always need context to speculate deeply on things, but right now I'm kind of like drawing a blank as to why she would think that, other than just like the general idea of her being a kid and that being a part of something that we deal with growing up. But I definitely think there's a particular reason from her own experiences that's making her feel that way. So yeah, it was interesting to find out that my theories about Agat being raised to be in the Knights Morales, that doesn't look like to be the case, actually. I guess she's a descendant of one of the three, what are they called? Yeah, the three wise ones. So I don't think it looked like from what we saw in the was it the opening? I think it was the opening. It was somewhere where I saw like the three where I assumed those were the three wise ones. One of them represents the knights, and then the other two represent parts of the witch society that that have probably been mentioned, but I don't remember. They're talking about here something about her like being a librarian. I'm not really sure what all comes with that territory, but yeah, it looks like I was wrong about the knights thing. However, the knights being like that intricately linked to the three wise ones is interesting. Alright, I can't really think of anything else to say this week, so subscribe if you would like to see more of these reaction breakdowns. Like and comment to boost these videos out to more people so we can have more conversations going on in the comments. I haven't really gotten comments since like the first couple episodes. I have talked to friends about these videos and the series and everything, but other than that, we don't really have much of like a community going on here. After Witch Hat is over, I'm gonna be reacting to other anime and stuff. I've been reading One Piece live on stream. I'll actually be doing more of that this week if you're watching this video when it comes out. So yeah, if you like seeing story breakdown stuff, I try to do that. I definitely do that in my reaction videos, and I try to do that on my streams as well. We also just get silly on stream sometimes, but yeah, we got a chill little community built up around here. Not necessarily around my reaction content, but I'm hoping to get more viewers in that you know, watch for that stuff as well. At the end of the day, I want people to watch me for me. If you like the story breakdown stuff and all that, if you like Witch Hat Atelier, because I know I do, yeah. Stick around, join the Discord, join the community. We've got, what, 3 episodes left? Episodes 10, 11, 12, and 13. That's 4 episodes, I can count. Yeah, I think the series is ending, toward the end of June. So we still got some time to, you know, to enjoy this, being in this state of this season still coming out fresh. Hopefully we won't have to wait more than a couple years for the next season, but also hopefully they don't rush out the next season, which I don't think they will. This studio seems very competent, and like they know not to just rush shit out for the sake of it being popular. But we'll see you next time, and remember that art is magic. I almost forgot what it was. Bye.